The Ford Explorer is a family name badge. It's a staple of the US market, and one was even sold in the UK for a while. And you might also recognise it from the original Jurassic Park film. Of course, there's not going to be any T-Rexes around here, is there? Anyway, this is not the American Explorer. This medium-sized family SUV is the second Ford EV that uses Volkswagen's MEB platform, following the slight gawkiness and name appropriation of the recent Capri SUV coupe thing. And in fact, it's a rather better resolved design with clean, modern, sleek lines and wheels pushed to the edges stance. Does it look like a Ford? Not really. Does that matter? Also, probably not. As we'll find out, it perhaps also doesn't quite drive like a Ford, but it does offer impressive interior space, decent charging pace, and a range of 374 miles from the larger batteried version. You'll probably want to know about price. Ford Explorers range from just under $40,000 to just under $54,000. This one with the bigger battery, less than a year ago, was £45,000, and it's got 2,700 miles on it and is now £27,699, so a bit of a bargain for the used car buyer. So what do you get for that money? Well, a pretty swish looking thing from where I'm sitting, with more Polestar vibes than anything else. It certainly hides its relationship with Volkswagen very well, but there are some shared components if you know where to look. And actually, the software behind this visually striking portrait position screen is Volkswagen sourced. So while it looks pretty fancy, it can be a little bit glitchy. That said, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto mean you can sidestep some of that awkwardness. Basic style models get goodies such as wireless phone charging, all-round parking sensors and adaptive cruise control. And then mid-spec cars, such as this Select model, get electrically adjustable heated front seats and heated steering wheel. And range-topping cars add a massage seat function and panoramic sunroof. And across the range, if you spec it as an option, you can get a heat pump, and that makes the car more efficient in the winter. As for overall quality, well, that bit is very much Ford standard, which means perfectly decent. But you'll not convince anyone it's a premium brand car, even if you hide the badge. There's oodles of storage space dotted around the cabin, and because there's no transmission tunnel spoiling the centre line of the car, there is so much space in here. I feel like it's Mary Poppins' handbag, but it is actually ginormous. I could almost get in there and have a little sleep. And not just that, look at this little party trick. Move this to reveal extra storage. Space in the back is plentiful. There is loads of leg room and loads of headroom. Even if you're taller than 5'4.5" me, you will find this car is spacious. And that's very impressive because despite being on the same platform as the Skoda Enyaq and the ID4, it boasts all of this room. There's also 2 sets of Isofix, and you can fit 3 people side by side. However, it's shorter than those other cars despite being on the same platform, and that does hurt it a little bit here because the Skoda Enyaq delivers 585 litres of space, whereas this car gets 470 litres, although that is the same as the Kia EV3, which is one of its key rivals. Kia. There's something else that we should talk about, partly because I'm right next to it. That is charging. The Explorer comes with 2 battery choices. You can either go for the 52 kilowatt hours, which gets you a range of 233 miles, or the more popular choice is going to be the 77 kilowatt hour battery, which gets you a range of 374 miles. If you go for bigger wheels, that range drops down to 354, and if you go for the 4-wheel drive dual motor version, that drops right down to 328. As for how long it takes to get those electrons in, well, the smaller battery peaks at around 135 kilowatts and the larger battery can charge at a rate of around 185 kilowatts. So the faster charging battery, the bigger battery, takes about 25 minutes to get to an 80% charge, and the smaller battery takes a few minutes longer. If you're using a wall box, it will take between 8 and 9 hours. But you know what? Once you're done with that, it's time to drive. On the road, this 286 horsepower version feels surprisingly eager. Now, I know all EVs have got maximum torque available from 0 RPM, but Ford has mapped the throttles so that it feels pretty punchy. Now, if you would prefer a more progressive power delivery, then the Skoda Elroq and the Kia EV3 feel a little more chilled. But we can certainly believe Ford's 6.4 second 0 to 60 claim, and we imagine the smaller 170 brake horsepower motor in the 52 kilowatt hour model will still feel brisk with its 8.7 second 0 to 60 time. If you're a real acceleration fiend, then there is also a 340 brake horsepower all-wheel drive dual motor version that does that same sprint in just 5.3 seconds. The steering response is also energetically quick, which encourages you to drive the Explorer rather enthusiastically. You can't really escape its weight though. There's a reasonable amount of body lean in the Benz, and the brakes don't always bite as hard as you might hope, though that's partly because they are drums at the rear, as the car's regenerative braking setup puts less load on the physical braking system. But provided you aren't goaded by the zippy throttle pedal into driving it too hard, the Explorer is a capable, competent and likeable SUV in terms of its driving manners. It doesn't drive with the sparkle of the best Fords, but perhaps its Volkswagen underpinnings stop that from happening. But do we like it? Well, the Explorer isn't a groundbreaking car, but it won't upset anyone either. It's reasonably good value, inoffensively good looking, and doesn't wear a controversial name badge. And it makes the best out of its interior space. And does it really matter that it doesn't make you smile when you drive it on a twisty road like a Ford Focus, Ford Fiesta or a Puma would? We'll leave that up to you.